What are your thoughts on the raised edge liner from IPD? Well, let's look at one. Okay, so we got a IPD kit in this one here, and this has the raised edge liners in it, as you can see. And this engine has a head gasket failure. That's why it's in here. It has a head gasket failure because the liners sink on it. So, you know, how do I feel about stuff like fire ringed heads, raised edge liners, cryo head studs, all that kind of crap? I think it's all unnecessary. I think it's a lot of hype that doesn't actually pan out in the real world when it's put into application. And the reason is because you're still left with the same design. You're still left with liners that can drop, heads that can crack out, all of those things that are common failures, and you're trying to cure failures that aren't really common, right? You're not really losing fire rings on head gaskets for random reasons. It's stuff like liner sinking and, you know, and heat stroking and stuff like that. So we see a hell of a lot of damaged engines from operating too much horsepower, and all of these band-aids get thrown at it in advance trying to keep this build from blowing up. And when you're building horsepower, reliable horsepower that's going to also have longevity, you need to build the engine and then bring the fuel up to your build, rather than throw these huge fucking numbers at the thing and then you're chasing your tail trying to catch up with your fuel numbers. And that's the big difference. Like when we build a performance build, like our 640 build, that thing revolves entirely around the type of pistons we used, the type of manifold and turbo, and then we brought the fuel up to match the build that we did. And where we see the big difference in all these engines that come in here that are wrecked is guys throw these big tunes, the big numbers on them, and then they're chasing their little ass around trying to build the engine to match that tune. It's just not the way it works. So, I mean, you can get horsepower out of an engine. There's just a limit. And it's not unlimited because you threw this cam, these injectors, this head, these head bolts, and this liner at it. It don't make no fucking difference. It don't make no fucking difference. You're still gonna blow head gaskets. You're still gonna drop liners. You're still gonna crack out your heads. I mean, that's the reality of it. We see it all the time, non-stop. You know, the guys that build really big horsepower trucks out there, they know that. You know, they don't kid themselves. They just expect to rebuild them over and over and over again. And it's just part of the game of having engines like that, you know, and those guys got money to throw around. If you're not a guy that doesn't have money to throw around, stop doing shit like that. Have a good one.